Sham ATL going once. Sham ATL going twice. Sham, where you at, Sham?
What's going on, family?
What up, black man? Where you at? You in the ATL?
I'm in Charlotte right now, family. But I need you. When the next time you're gonna be in Atlanta, man? I need you to come to Towers High School, man. I'm from Glenwood, from East Atlanta, man. I need you to come out here, man, and talk to the youth, man. We ain't got no fathers out here, man. We ain't got no grandmamas no more, man. We ain't got no real aunties, no real uncles.
That's in Atlanta, or that's the town?
I'm in Atlanta. It's in Decatur, East Atlanta area. It's southeast Atlanta.
Okay, so it's driving distance from the city, right there.
Yes, driving distance. 15,
take my number.
Minutes.
You got my cell? You got my cell?
I don't, family. Can you DM it to me, please?
Let me type it up in here. Wait, let me do this. Let me put it in here.
All right.
Because I don't want you to give me your cell number on the phone. I don't know if people gonna play games on your phone.
All right.
It's 215-989-9858. Let me do it again.
Let me see.
Look, you can also email me too at DrUmarJohnson.com.
Okay, I'm gonna email you. I got you right now, family, on everything, man. I love what you're doing out here with the community, bro. We need brothers like you, family. I swear to God, man. I don't want look. I did almost 5 years in prison. I did 18. I turned 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22 in prison. I got out, but I didn't read a book until I got locked up. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
I didn't read. I didn't want to know anything until I went to prison, bro. I didn't have no real big homies, no real OGs really push up on me and let me know what's going on. I used to chump off the junkies in the neighborhood. They used to try to tell us what's going on. I used to chump off the J's in the neighborhood. They used to try to tell us what's going on. I used to look at them like, hey, look at these guys, man. Like, I'm going to take some advice from a fella like this. You feel them? Not consciously realizing that they telling me this so that I don't be in a position that they're in. You know what I'm saying, family? I just want somebody to come around where people really can look up the us, you know what I'm saying, and not, you know, I just coming from Georgia, bro. I'm coming from history of bullshit. We got a curriculum right now in the state of Georgia. It's been in there since I was in middle school. When you go through middle school, guess what it's called? It's called Georgia Studies, right? It's in social studies class. But guess what the Georgia Studies is about? Georgia Studies is about praising every Confederate, you know what I'm saying? The Confederates. It's about praising them.
Wow. The Confederate generals and everything.
Yeah, they praise the Confederates, but they don't tell us anything about the 100,000 of us that was bucking on that shit and was voting against that shit. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. So you feel what I'm saying? Like, and who was bucking on
yes, sir.
Who wasn't going for stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because all of us went on monkey niggas, man. I'm starting to realize genes and DNA and all this and not DNA. But that's why I feel like a lot of these young cats right now that don't listen to what nobody's saying, in their genes somewhere down the road, somewhere down the line in their genes, they granddaddy wasn't going for that shit neither. They great-great-granddaddy wasn't going for that shit. They great-great-grand wasn't going for that. You know what I'm saying? Them folks really knew where they're coming from, fam. You feel me? I just really want somebody to talk to the youth, man. You know what I'm saying? For me, in my area. You know what I'm saying? Because it's getting outrageous, man. It's getting bad, man.
Got you, brother. Got you. Send me that email so I can lock you in. If you're able to take my number down, just go back through the comments, and I put it up there, the 215. But it's on my website too, and also got an 844 number. Just call, leave me a message with your number, so the next time I'm in ATL, we gonna do that. That's nothing. All right, say no more, family, man. You have a great one. No doubt. Be safe, black man. All right. All right, now. One love. To the sister who asked me if I'm going to retract my false statements about the 325 AD Council of Nicaea, I'm not going to retract anything because it was absolutely correct. It was at the Nicene Council of 325 AD, the first Nicene Council, because there were many of them where they decided that henceforth and always Jesus Christ would be considered a son of God. It was not universally believed that Jesus Christ was a son of God before that 325 AD council. Yes, there were Christians who believed Jesus was the son of God, but there were many more who did not believe Jesus was the son of God. But after the 325 AD council, okay, convened by Emperor Constantine, it would be punishable by death to not accept Jesus Christ as the one and only son of God. So I know that conflicts with your religion. That's not my problem. I deal in facts, factual history. Okay, factual history. It wasn't until 300 years after Jesus that it was universally accepted that he was the son of God. I'm just stating facts. Don't get mad at me. I love my Christians. I love my Muslims, but I love my Pan-Africanists more. Let's get back on here. Who tapping in next? My life is Kara. My life is Kara. Going once.
Dr. Umar.
How you doing, Sister Kara?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Where you at in the world, goddess?
I'm in D.C.
Washington, D.C., right down the road. What's going on with you?
I'm good. I left New York about 2 months ago because my lease ended. So
Okay.
I left. And I was like trying to because I was like, I need to get added on your live one time because I follow you. I do all these things. But so I went to Spelman.
Okay.
I don't know do you know any professors? So at Spelman we have the African diaspora in the world, like mandatory 1-year class. Have you?
Yes. In fact, I was invited by Spelman to come and speak, and I think it was for that program, but it never panned out. Something happened. I think the lesbians
protested.
So that's
what I was about to ask you about this question, actually, because a lot of the people that my fellow Spelman Morehouse, they do have some like choice words and everything for you, but I think a lot of these things you say, like I agree on a lot of things, but a lot of the arguments that they say is, when it comes to like when you're talking about the LGBTQ and everything community, is one of the professors that I had at Spelman in my ADW class. She was actually trying to implement more coursework on like within diaspora of within the community. And a lot of people say if you are not for the advancement of all Black people, a lot of times that people say it's like not really conducive to what we're trying to do. Like if you're saying you're pro-Black, you have to be pro-Black for Black people who are not just only the respectability Black, or things that have been like stated, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Like that's the argument that we had at this class discussion is if you're saying you're pro-Black, then you have to be pro-Black for your people who are in different classes, you are in different sexual orientations, if you are in different, able bodies and things like that. And that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about is because I do like a lot of things you say, but that's a lot of the things that, turn people off from you and certain things like that with that discussion.
Okay. How old are you, Kara?
I'm 23.
Okay. That means I'm old enough to be your father. I'm a generation older, right?
Yeah, my daddy's 69.
Well, and he's a generation older than me. I'm in the middle, right? But here's what I want you to understand. I'm more than just pro-Black.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Pan-Africanist. But I want to say this. I totally agree with you. We are about the unification of all African people, right?
Yes, of all.
However, in keeping with African culture, there must still be boundaries, and there must still be limits, and there also must be exclusionary criteria. There has never been a movement or a revolution in the world by any people, anytime, that did not have exclusionary criteria. And the reason for that is because no struggle is a utopia. No struggle is a utopia. And given the post-traumatic slavery disease and psychological damage committed against us, American Africans, that exclusionary criteria must be stricter than any other movement in history's exclusionary criteria. So then the question becomes, upon what basis do you create this exclusionary criteria? And that basis is African culture. Our traditional, our ancient, our sacred African culture dictates what behaviors will be accepted and what behavior will not be accepted. Now, let me say this. I do not support LBGT. I am unapologetic about that. And I don't care who doesn't like it. I am unapologetic about everything I believe in. But let me clarify for you, Kara. That doesn't mean I don't love my LBGT sisters. That doesn't mean I ain't got love for brothers who are sexually confused out there. You understand? Stay with me. Do you follow what I'm saying? I love African people regardless of their psychological hangups, regardless of their psychological casualties. We all have them. You have Black men in love with white women. You have Black women in love with weaves and perms and blonde hair. Some of us are scared of the police. All of us have some psychological weaknesses that have to be corrected. All of us have contradictions because we are human behaviors. It is human to manifest the contradiction. Okay? So when I fight for black women, I'm fighting for the lesbians too. When I fight for black men, I'm fighting for the homosexuals too. I'm simply saying, Sister Karen, that I am not going to carve out a special area of interest for that behavior because that behavior is anti-African. That does not make me a hater of gays. You understand me? I'm not interested in hurting them. I'm not interested in killing them. I'm not interested in doing anything to them, but I am interested in not having that lifestyle propagated and educated to our children. I want to be crystal clear about that. I will not stand by and allow that to be pushed on innocent black children, conditioning them into a life that they never would have entertained had their innocence not been exploited. That's all I'm saying. I ain't got nothing but love for black folk. I ain't got hate for nobody, but we can agree to disagree, and we will agree to disagree.
And that's why it makes
on the greatest,
hold
on, and we will agree to disagree on the greatest weapon of population control being used on African people worldwide today, and that is the LGBT movement. Go ahead.
Okay, like you said, we're going to agree to disagree, and I think like that's why when I was able to go to a Spelman campus or a Spelman Morehouse type
and
of
I
campus,
attended a Spelman graduation, by the way. I attended a Spelman graduation.
What year?
2015 or 16.
Okay. I'm class of 2018.
Okay.
I was saying like one of the experiences that I like so much about when I go to Spelman or when I was at Morehouse on that campus is you're already finally able to have a discussion within the black community, within different classes, genders, races, regionally, everything. Because like me, I grew up on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. So my experience being the black person, I think I was kind of, shielded by like a class in the situation in my experience by people. So I went to Spelman, I was able to have my experience, but then someone from Chicago had a completely different experience. But then someone from LA had a different experience than the person in Chicago because one, regionally, but also class or different, or someone who did come in and we were talk about women, because, you know, Spelman is a women's college. We got to deep dive within, you know, the Pan-African movement, when the women are in the Pan-African movement. And now, you know, some societies in Africa, they're matriarchal societies, when some men over in America are pushing these patriarchal societies and these patriarchy things. And it's just, I was just so, like, it's just so nice to be able to have that discussion because, you know, if you're at a PWI institution, you're going to have a surface level African-American studies discussion. But on a HBCU campus, you're able to deep dive within the intersectionalities of the Pan-African movement and everything like that. So that's just one thing I want to talk about because I do like a lot of things you say. The consciousness over coochie. I'm trying to get these men to put this consciousness over coochie, but it's not working. Hang on by a thread. I don't know if I got it.
But let me say this to you, Karen. Let me a couple things. Number one, you are aware that Spelman is named after
a white person,
the wife of not just any white person, but the wife of John D. Rockefeller, the grand patriarch of one of the most racist families in world history. You do know that.
Yeah, they teach us. Like, they teach us. They teach us. We have discussions because, like people say, you know, because people come back and forth like, oh, but your school's named after a white person. Like, you know, we have these play around with how are all these things like that. So they teach us. We have these deep discussions. You know, how are we in a building with white person, things like that, or you know.
But the reason I brought that up, Karen, not to cut you off, but the reason I brought that up, Spelman will always have an LBGT wing at the campus.
Of course,
because it is in keeping with the population control ideology of its principal founder. See, before Spelman received that money from John D. Rockefeller, it wasn't even called Spelman yet. It had another name, which I'm sure y'all taught. I forget that name.
Baptist Church, the church that they tore down. Yes.
They renamed it after Spelman's wife after that magnanimous donation that he made. So there will always be a population control agenda at Spelman and many other HBCUs that are funded by white racist philanthropists. But let's get to the consciousness over coochie real quick.
Let's get to it.
The consciousness over the coochie. I want to say this to you, and I'm all about consciousness over coochie, okay? In fact, one of the reasons I'm not married now, okay?
I have a question about that too.
As someone who's old enough to be your father, the reason I'm not married now is because a lot of women in my generation, right?
Okay.
Aren't able to put the coochie to the side and focus on the consciousness when it's time to get the work done.
Okay.
So when we come together, they're constantly screening other women subliminally sending messages to other women, competing with other women through behavior instead of focusing on the work. So somebody in my position demands a queen who is mature enough to focus on the consciousness when it's time for consciousness and focus on the coochie when it's time for coochie. Here's what I want to say. You young sisters are just as guilty as our brothers for violating the consciousness over coochie code. Stay with me.
Okay.
Y'all say y'all want a brother to focus on the consciousness over coochie, but a lot of y'all lead with the coochie by the dress code and the conversation. Not you per se, my queen, not you.
Okay.
But you would agree with me that sisters can also violate the very same code that they want their brothers to live by. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I can agree that it could be in a shared experience, but
yes,
I can also agree if we're gonna stick to this whole way that things are supposed to go, because traditional things is like, okay, if we're supposed to be but let
me ask you a question. When you go to the campus party, Karen, when you go to the campus party, do you dance to misogynistic hip-hop music?
Guilty, but
wait. You're not going to leave yet. Wait.
Okay.
I'm willing to bet that your top artists, hip-hop artists, are misogynists. Now, stay with me.
But isn't that taking the blame?
Wait. Give me 1 second. I'm going to let you go. Listen to me, Kara. Listen to me. I love Megan Thee Stallion. Beautiful, cinnamon, voluptuous sister. But she's a misogynist. I love Cardi B. Beautiful African-Dominican sister. But she's a misogynist. Most of our leading male hip-hop artists are misogynists. So my question to you, who represent black female empowerment, not feminism, but black female empowerment.
Womanism.
Right, womanism, right? You represent African womanism, black womanism. How do you reconcile the contradiction of wanting brothers to put consciousness over coochie when you value hip-hop gangster rap, which is misogynistic and disrespectful towards black women? How do you reconcile that contradiction?
So I think, as a Spelman person that I am, we've known for getting this, trying to get this misogynistic music out, aka trying to get Tip Drill Band taken off MTV2 or whatever back then. I can remember, it was a whole scandal. But I think, once again, to me, why you put it blame black on us? I'm asking about the men and playing them consciously.
Right, but no. Don't do that, Kara. Don't do that. Always deal with both of us. Stay with me, Queen.
Okay.
Listen. When people ask me about sisters and their role in oppressing black males, right? I will deal with it, but I will go back and bring up the male responsibility too. You have to keep a balanced perspective. Always be balanced, Kara, because if you're not balanced, you're going to lose part of the audience, and we got to bring the brothers and sisters together. So it should never always be about what the men need to do. You can do that, but then come back and hold your sisters accountable too.
Okay.
See, I will talk about black women with weave, right? I'll talk about black women with blonde hair. But I also go right back and talk about black men with white women. I'm going to hold the males and the female, the brotherhood and the sisterhood must be held responsible. Go ahead.
I mean, it's true. We do have to be held responsible. It's a shared experience. Of course, a shared responsibility to both of us put consciousness over coochie, to put prosperity over penis. Okay, correct. But, it's just, to me, even when I'm trying to speak and when I'm trying to, even when I try to talk, I tell a lot of these men, y'all are not Dr. Umar enough. Y'all do not hate white supremacy enough to talk to me, because y'all running around here obsessed with buying Christian Dior. The fuck? Sorry, I didn't make that word. But, doing all these things, it's because even when I say, I like to joke and do whatever, but I feel like people don't really know just how Umar I am when it comes to certain situations, because it's people are just why are you so pressed to dress like this or do like this or be so obsessed, or are we going to the Met Gala or whatever? What? Why is the Met Gala at the Brooklyn Museum, not at the African American Houston Museum? It's just certain things that I'm wow, sometimes I wish I had this platform so the black people that do have the money, it's y'all can really influence and really try to start that conversation of we have everything that we need to do everything with ourselves, in ourselves, by ourselves, make everything pop. And we don't need to be we don't need all these certain things. So I don't know, I just think it's just a long-term conversation that's going to happen, that people need to start hating white supremacy more enough for me, because they don't hate it enough. placing a lot in it. Just like, I don't know, this conversation. Thanks for having me on the live. I'm with it.
Okay.
When you do that,
and also, Kara, I'm gonna do something for you.
Okay. Well.
I speak in Atlanta regularly. Atlanta is a very big city for Dr. Umar.
I'm
right?
in New York now, though. But I mean,
okay, you're in New York now, right?
Yeah.
No, you said okay. You're in New York now.
Yeah, but I'm just.
But you'll be going back for school, right?
No, so I graduated. I be going back for.
Oh, you're done. You're done.
Yeah,
you
I graduated in 2018. I graduated in 2018. Okay. I work in New York City now.
Okay. I will be coming to New York for my second book release, Black Parent Advocate, which will probably be sometime next month. So make sure you stay with me on Instagram and Twitter so you can come on out to that book release lecture.
Okay, and when you do that, the conference, the Pan-African Women Conference in Philly. I mean, I know I got 1 degree. I might have 1 degree, but
that's all right. That's all right.
Would
you like to facilitate? Would you like to facilitate a workshop? Would you like to
facilitate a workshop? I'm a woman.
Send me a message.
I'm a Black woman.
Send me a message with your number, and I'm going to pass that along to the sisters who are going to be convening that. Okay. And they'll be in touch with you.
Okay, perfect.
All right, Queen. Great conversation. All right now. One love.
All right, thank you. All right. Bye.
Intelligent young sister. Intelligent young sister. I like to see that. Intelligent young sister. I like to see that. Okay? Brothers, we got to put the consciousness over the coochie, the politics over the punani. Brothers, we have to put the consciousness over the coochie and the politics over the punani. Bacardi 1, New York City. Where you at?
Yo.
What's going on, Bacardi?
Yo, what's good, Doctor?
What's good? What borough you in?
I'm in Brooklyn right now. I'm actually in the gentrification part of Brooklyn.
Okay.
And I drive Uber and shit like that, so I'll be all over the city, working or whatever. But my question was, right, is that before all this happened, I noticed that, white people jog a lot and they run a lot. And I was thinking to myself, yo, they getting prepared for something. Because, the consistency everywhere, even during the coronavirus, they running without masks on. So I'm just saying, do they know something we don't know? And then was they trying to build their immune system so it would be strong in these type of times?
I think it's a little bit of all that, my brother. I think they do know some things we don't know. I also believe that they're trying to build their immune system, because if you're a young person like you or I, you want to expose yourself to those coronavirus antibodies that are in the air so that your immune system can develop resistance to them. If your immune system is strong enough to develop a resistance, then you want to expose yourself to the antibodies. You don't want to hug somebody with the virus, but you do want to get out into the world and let your immune system be exposed to what's out there so we can develop a resistance. That's how we develop resistance, by exposure to a low level of the virus. So we do need to do that. We also need to do some running ourselves, or some walking, or some bike riding. We need to do some of that too, my brother, because it's going to get worse before it gets better. I believe that this first coronavirus campaign is only the first one. I believe this was a test run. I believe they're going to let everything go back to normal. And before the decade is out, they're going to hit us with another one. So we need to be prepared.
Yeah, and I'm just like, yo, it's something, because, people getting shot and stuff like that. And I see the difference in New York City, where Central Park, everywhere, everybody outside, like they never quarantined. They was all out running around. They still running around out here. I'm in Brooklyn right now. They running out here with no mask. You know what I'm saying? We gotta understand what's going on, and hopefully, I'm just worrying about our kids. And it's a good thing I'm on the phone with you, because I was the first person saying, stop sending my kids to school, but they moms, they kind of program where they just gonna go with the school say. But I guess this was a good thing that happened, because it made us realize we gotta take.
Brother Bacardi, with the New York City public schools, are they still requiring that the children sign in on the laptop and do schoolwork that way, or is there no expectation during the quarantine for education?
No, they still doing it, and it was a good thing for at least my son, because he reads very well. His comprehension is phenomenal, and we all know, I listen to you a lot, so I already know the system is aligned to go against us, and he actually did very good, and he's passing, and he's going to pass this year.
Okay.
And it was a very good thing for him. Huh?
No, I'm listening.
Yeah, it was a good, yeah.
Nah, keep going. I'm listening, bro.
Oh yeah. I was saying it was a good thing for him because, in these schools, when they get to 7th grade, these teachers are so in the world and they got problems. And I told them that, in this world, everything is built off a relationship. So when you work, everything is built off a relationship. So if you don't have a good relationship with your teacher, and most likely we already know they targeting our young blacks, then they're not going to do well. So this was actually good where he was able to separate himself and do his numbers. So he's getting A's and B's, and he's going to pass this year. But, he got to worry about next year, being around these people. And, it's all who they like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already know what it did to us. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say this to you, Brother Bakari, and I hope I'm wrong with what I'm about to say. I hope I'm wrong. Have you heard about this new virus that they say is affecting children? And they found about 5 kids in New York City who had that virus? I believe
it's like a rash.
Yeah, I believe that's another man-made strand of this corona just for children.
Yeah.
They've made a special variant just for children.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong.
And
but I hope I'm wrong.
You know why?
But
because
I think that when school starts back up in September, when all the kids are around each other, I think they're going to release the virus amongst our babies. I really think so.
Wow.
So for black parents who can homeschool, I really want us to think about homeschooling.
Yeah, because I noticed the kids get sick anyway. The school system is a whole big sick place. Like, them little kids be sick. Every time I come in and drop my daughter off, them little kids are sick. And my daughter, she haven't got sick the whole time of this quarantine because that's all they doing anyway is setting our kids up with a whole bunch of sick kids. They coming home and they getting us sick. But another thing with the rash thing is that the kids wasn't affected by the coronavirus. So I felt like they had to throw something in there to scare us with our kids. So I think this is what they doing. So they can line our kids up for these vaccines because they know we not going for the vaccines.
Right.
We're not going for the vaccines going back to school. So they had to create something else to scare us so they could put some other vaccine on us. But we get conscious.
Yeah.
And Dr. Umar, before I get off, I just want to say this is an important time because they spent their whole life trying to erase our history, and we waking up. We waking up slowly but surely. We waking up other people, and that's all that matters. We don't care about the numbers. We don't care about the donations, whatever. You doing a big just to us just by being on this live, just reaching out to us. You doing phenomenal work. Keep doing what you doing. Fuck the haters. I see all the crackers on here, whatever, pardon my language, trying to troll and shit like that. But I fuck with it. You got my support.
Appreciate you, black man. Appreciate you. Be safe out there.
All right, no doubt.
Yeah, what I was saying, brothers and sisters, this new child virus that they done discovered in New York, I really believe that that's a test. And once our kids go back to school, I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Lord don't allow them to do this. But once our kids go back to school, I think they may try to release this new child virus that they claim that they found. Go ahead and tap in. Now, I can't marry a Mexican. You can go ahead and listen in, but you can't come to none of our meetings. We respect the Mexican struggle, but we totally dedicated to the African struggle. But you can hang around. I got respect for y'all, okay? I respect everybody's struggle. I support the Mexican struggle, the Latino struggle, the poor white struggle, the Asian struggle, everybody's struggle, but I'm for the African struggle. That's where my focus is, and I cannot split my focus. Chris Star Music going once. Chris Star Music going twice. Peace and love, Queen.
Oh, hi. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Where you at, Queen? Where you at?
I'm in Brooklyn, New York, East New York.
Brooklyn, New York. What's on your mind?
I was just sitting by the window and I was just thinking, like, you know, this is like my little therapy right now, sitting by the window. Right. This is my view. It's not that spectacular.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I see some green
cool.
out there.
Yeah, it's next to an abandoned building. Crazy story about that gentrification.
Gotcha.
But wow, I got to get my thoughts together because I was thinking, like, as you was requesting everybody, of course, I sent the request, and I was like, what am I going to say? And then everybody started talking, and they were, like, talking about the things I probably would ask you, you know, especially the thing with the kids just now because I have a 6-year-old. And I'm going to homeschool her from now on. So you just answered that question for me. And I don't watch the news because you'll hear a story like that. They have a new virus for kids and then you're in panic, you know. So it's nerve-wracking. I have family members that have COVID. My father has COVID. My mother
Hopefully he recovers. He will recover.
He is recovering very well, you know. I just don't talk about it a lot, especially on my live, because
I understand.
I just don't want people and their negative energy and everything. And I was surprised you picked my my request because you see my picture. I'm an artist. I'm a rapper. I'm everything a Black woman is not necessarily supposed to be, but, you know, I'm Haitian. I'm naturally an earthly person. Society has made it easier for me, and I think easier for a lot of other Black people. When they say, oh, why is it hard for Black people to stay conscious or stay on the straight road or stay conscious over worrying about sex or how you feel in relationships and things like that? I feel like we have this thing for success. And it's like, if you can't beat them, join them. And I've been through this. I go through this on a constant basis because I have a kid. So I got to survive no matter what. I have to do it no matter what. I feel like, okay, well, you know what? If I can figure out how to make $1 million, $1 billion, then I can do what I have to do. But then when you get around people and when you start living that lifestyle and you start getting into material things and being in the white community, I'm from Queens, Long Island. I'm not from Brooklyn. I live in Brooklyn. But so I've grown up around white people and Black people. Right. And I just be like, it just makes it harder. And I see how they become out of touch with the Black community, which I had the pleasure of living in East New York, even though I don't know why I'm still in East New York now that I'm locked down here, because now I know what's important. This was a real eye-opener. Get my piece of land, get my house. Even though my credit was tarnished, I did have my my ID and my social leaked on social media over some like bullshit hip-hop stuff. But, you know, it affected me because now I have to work harder and change my whole thing around to get a house, to start getting somewhere where I can go. If this happens again, we have to be able to go somewhere and be safe. So a lot of people, they'll see me online. They're like, oh, you got an OnlyFans. Oh, you twerking. Oh, you getting money. You doing this. I got a 6-year-old. I'm not going to sit at home and be broke. Thank God I'm on welfare. Thank God welfare was there to help me in this epidemic. Yes, but I'm not going to be able to stay on welfare forever. You know what I mean? I was that woman. I'll do whatever I got to do. I'll go do something that no other female will do to not get on welfare. And then when I came in that situation and my life situation turned like that, this is all I had to build myself up from. So, of course, later on in life, I want to be that person that if I got to give Black people welfare and be that welfare person, let me go and make those millions. Yes. However way I'm trying to figure it out and be that person to provide a welfare system for people that need to come up from nothing, you know, that need to come from, that needs some kind of help, you know. So I just pray for everybody. I pray everybody stays safe. I really appreciate you because, like I said, I was just sitting here. Yeah, I'm smoking my little weed, drinking my little ginger shot and everything like that. But it's important for people to have somebody to listen to and to kick knowledge. You know, I know sometimes you get frustrated when people talk and you talk all this extra stuff, but you have to realize when you have a wealth of knowledge that all these people are dying. We don't have, like, I have a great uncle in ICU. He's from Cuba. He's the youngest. He's the youngest. I'm hoping he will too as well. He's been hanging on for like a couple of 2-3 weeks now. But he's my grandfather who passed away 3 years ago. That's his youngest brother, youngest of like, I think 14, 15 in Cuba. And he has 13 children out here in the United States. You know, some grown. I think the youngest is like 21 or something.
Right.
And they're all dying. So these are conversations with men that I will never get to have these conversations with them about history, about anything Black, anything spiritual, you know, no matter where I come from. So definitely continue to keep doing what you're doing. And I just be so happy when I see you do your lives, because I'll be like, oh, you know what? Like, they all fall off, or they all just get derailed. And even if you're not married, that might be your calling. Sometimes they say this, you know, the greatest men in the world, they have to walk alone on this earth. They have to stay focused. Yeah. And I think the possibility of a relationship might deter you. It might make you not understand what you have to do, and you're leading so many people. Of course, you could get a wife like this. They're all just sitting there waiting like, oh, I can't wait. You know what I mean? But, you know, just continue to do that. And also, because I was a part of a couple conscious groups. I don't know if I can name them on your live. I don't know how you'll feel about that. But,
you can name them if you want.
They're in Brooklyn, and these people, they don't have a lot of followers, which is why my plan, which is Powerful Pioneers, shout out to y'all and shout out to Brother Rojo, which was always my plan, like, oh, you know, I'm going to be lit, I'm going to be this rapper, and then I'm going to start showing people the conscious part of the world, because I'm multi-diversion, you know, multi-facetted, as a friend had said. And they're the ones that are in the nursing homes. They're the ones that are going to the junior high schools, teaching people how to be vegan, how to drink alkaline water, how to get in touch with crystals and the spirituality and earth. They saved my life, because there was a time I was drinking, partying, I still do. But I know how to heal myself. I know how to, in the morning, get my little ginger shots, or, you know, make my own sea moss drinks. And these are stuff that when I was going, I was just like, oh, I'm here. And I was understanding. I was looking at these people like they different from me, because I was wearing the weeds, because that's what I did for work. This is how I hustle. So, you know, I'm looking at these females and I'm thinking that they're different, or maybe less than me, or maybe grand, you know, depends on who you're meeting. And I was ignorant to the fact until it started growing on me. And when it became for me to be around other people and to heal myself and to heal my family members, you know, it was a blessing in disguise. So the conscious community also one thing, my thing in that was, well, listen, if I'm going to be a part of anything, y'all have to accept the people that are different from you as well. Even like you said with the LGBT community, it's not about your lifestyle. One thing my mother said is your sexuality is not your lifestyle. It's what you do on your own time. But, you know, as long as you're including them, because all these rappers, all these trappers, all these people that are ignorant, that don't dress a certain way, guess who they are? They are the masses. They are the ones that's going to come out in the numbers. They are the ones that make a difference for white people and their sales and their clothing and everything. Yeah. So we need to all continue to just try to blend with people. And that's something that I learned growing up in Queens, Long Island, and now living in East New York. I wasn't raised in the projects, but I'm damn sure trying not to end up in one or stay in the situation. So my life dynamic has changed, and you never know where that can be. And I'm not worried, because I'm a fruitful person. I kind of have blessed parents. And I always make something of something, you know what I mean? But I know I do talk a lot, y'all. But
it's okay. Well said, Queen.
But,
I'm glad you tapped in.
I'm nervous at first, but I get my thing once I get my train of thought, because you caught me off guard. I really didn't even think you was going to accept my life.
Okay.
You know?
I appreciate you, sis. I want to see you when I come to New York next month. I'll be doing my first book signing in New York. Probably be in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Christian Center. I'm going to see if I can rent that out. That's where my first book was dropped, in New York, March 6, 2013. So I should be coming soon. Make sure you stay on my Instagram.
Always.
So you can see the information when I put it out there.
Always.
All right, Queen. Stay blessed. Keep going.
Yeah.
You inspire me.
God bless everybody.
God bless.
Stay safe.
All right. Some of y'all are so disrespectful. Like, y'all have nothing but criticism for black folks. Y'all got to stop that. Y'all got to do better. Y'all got to do better. Like, I watch y'all. Some of y'all, all you do is criticize people. We got to do better than that. But I'm going to get ready to pap out. I got some more runs. I'm in North Philly. You know, the prince is home on the throne. But I'll be back in touch with y'all soon. Make sure y'all donate. $ FDMG School. $ FDMG School. $ FDMG School. P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington. P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, 19809. If you need to text me, 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. Email DrUmarJohnson@yahoo.com. Don't forget to sign up for the podcast. Go to the Instagram bio, Facebook bio, Twitter bio. Sign up for the DrP.O.P.A podcast, $9.99 a month, automatically billed. That's where most of my new information and analyses are being conducted. The DrP.O.P.A podcast. Peace and Black Power. FDMG is coming.